Buffalo Wild Wings has long marketed itself as the go-to destination for game day indulgence, but behind the screens and sports jerseys lies a disturbing truth. Workers have come forward revealing that the wings aren't freshly cooked, but instead thawed from frozen, doused in MSG-heavy sauces, and fried in recycled oil. This isn't just a one-off incident, it's part of a larger pattern.
Don't get fooled by the label. Subscribe now to uncover what's really behind your favorite brands and get the truth Big Food doesn't want you to see.
From moldy prep areas to reused grease and artificial ingredients, the reality sharply contrasts the fun, energetic brand image. And they're not alone. Chains like Chili's, Olive Garden, and Outback Steakhouse follow similar playbooks, banking on convenience while quietly sidelining food safety and authenticity. What's really at stake here is more than just taste, it's trust. The restaurant industry is riddled with shortcuts, cost-cutting, and image manipulation that masks the processed, reheated, and often unhygienic nature of the food being served. Applebee's, IHOP, Red Lobster, and Denny's are no exception, each contributing their own chapter to this story of corporate compromise. But the video also points to a better way forward. Places like True Food Kitchen and Cava prove that it's still possible to serve fast, affordable meals without sacrificing quality or transparency. Choosing wisely isn't just about eating better, it's about supporting values that matter. If you're eating out in America, chances are you're being lied to. Bold promises of fresh food, authentic flavors, and made-from-scratch menus are nothing but smoke and mirrors for many of the most popular restaurant chains. Over 60% of casual dining chains have been found in violation of major food safety standards. Yet they stay packed. Why? Because their billion-dollar marketing machines work overtime to convince you that processed, frozen, reheated food is somehow wholesome and worth your hard-earned money. Let's start with Buffalo Wild Wings, a place that built its name on the backs of chicken wings and high-energy sports nights. But what's really happening behind those kitchen doors? Former employees have spilled the truth. Those wings, frozen, thawed, tossed into recycled oil, their sauces loaded with MSG, artificial dyes, and additives you don't want anywhere near your body. The environment? Problematic at best, with multiple reports of racist incidents and an overworked, underpaid staff. What looks like a fun sports hangout is actually a processed food factory. Then there's Applebee's, the so-called neighborhood grill. Once a comforting place with decent prices and big portions, it's now a hollowed-out shell of corporate greed. The food, pre-cooked, frozen, reheated. Quality, gone. Hygiene, questionable. Internal corporate memos literally discuss taking advantage of struggling Americans during economic downturns, viewing inflation as an opportunity. Applebee's doesn't care about your community, it cares about margins. If you want real cook-to-order food, look to alternatives like Cracker Barrel or Perkins, places that haven't fully sold their souls to frozen truckloads and microwaves. And don't think IHOP is getting off the hook. Known for their pancakes and syrup-soaked nostalgia, they've quietly turned their kitchens into fast food assembly lines. Breakfast classics, many are now made from frozen ingredients. There have been serious health violations too. Mold, pests, contaminated prep areas. And as if that wasn't bad enough, they decided to start selling burgers, further drifting from any form of culinary identity. What started as a cozy diner has become a hygiene hazard with a confused menu. Olive Garden is another master of illusion. They love to drape themselves in Italian flags and call their pasta authentic, but there is nothing remotely authentic about what they serve. That Alfredo sauce from a plastic bag, those breadsticks, mass-produced, the kitchens, health inspectors have repeatedly flagged them for cleanliness issues, sodium overload, pre-packaged entrees, and frozen everything. Olive Garden is a factory dressed in a red checkered tablecloth. You want Italian? Support your local trattoria, not this processed mess pretending to be Tuscany. Red Lobster, one of the biggest lies in the seafood world. They sell the illusion of the sea fresh catches, warm butter, beach vibes. But behind the scenes, a disturbing reality. A huge portion of their seafood is imported from polluted, unsustainable farms. The dishes are reheated, served with imitation butter, and often arrive at your table devoid of any nutritional value. They market themselves themselves as a seafood celebration. In truth, it's closer to a seafood betrayal. If you actually care about your food's origin, stick to local coastal restaurants with a commitment to sustainability. Outback Steakhouse is another offender. Australian-themed branding, gimmick, authentic grilled steak, rarely. Their meats are often soaked in MSG-laced butter and cooked in reused oil. Let's not even get started on their infamous deep-fried bloomin' onion, which alone packs thousands of empty calories. This isn't steakhouse dining, it's marketing sleight of hand paired with cheap, over-processed ingredients. Real steakhouses don't need to drown their food in salt and chemicals to taste good. And Denny's, where do we begin? The neon glow, the 3 a.m. pancakes, the vague nostalgia of road trips. But that charm is long gone. What's left? A menu full of processed, frozen, and pre-packaged food, serious hygiene issues, reports of mold, pest infestations, and employee mistreatment. It's a corporate diner that's long stopped caring. It doesn't help that it's often a last resort rather than a destination. Places like Waffle House, or even a small-town breakfast joint, do a better job upholding quality and integrity. Then there's Chili's, once known for fun flavor and Tex-Mex variety, now reduced to an overpriced microwave operation. Their signature dishes, most are pre-prepared, frozen and blasted in microwaves before landing on your table. And behind the scenes, moldy ice machines, dirty prep surfaces, and rising prices paired with shrinking portions. This isn't dining, it's deception. If you're craving Mexican or Tex-Mex, you're better off supporting a family-run taqueria where food is fresh, honest, and made with care. So what's left? What can you actually trust? Enter True Food Kitchen and Cava. These are chains, yes, but ones that haven't sold out. True Food Kitchen is committed to anti-inflammatory, whole ingredients, no preservatives, no gimmicks. Every dish is designed to nourish without sacrificing taste. And Cava, a Mediterranean-inspired chain that's proof fast and casual, can still mean fresh and clean. Their ingredients are transparent, their food is real, and their mission is about health, not just profit. These places don't hide behind nostalgia or fake authenticity. They serve what they say they serve. The truth is, most big chains are built on a house of lies. They tell you what you want to hear, that your food is made fresh, that they care about quality, that they're family-friendly, but behind the smiling servers and colorful menus is a cold corporate engine focused on profits. They cut corners, they reheat food, they hide behind branding while quietly serving you food that's filled with sodium, MSG, and ingredients you can't pronounce. You have a choice. You don't have to support these shortcuts. You don't have to fund these frozen empires. Every dollar you spend at a local or transparent restaurant is a vote for better food, better practices, and better health. It's a rejection of deception, a refusal to settle for less. So if you've had enough of the lies, the microwaved meat, and the mold in the ice machines, make the switch. Demand more. Support restaurants that actually care. And if you found this breakdown helpful, hit that like button, drop a comment with the worst chain experience you've ever had, and share this with someone who still thinks Olive Garden is real Italian. Don't forget to subscribe for more food truth bombs. They're coming fast, and they're not pulling punches. The rot in the American restaurant industry runs deeper than frozen chicken wings and imitation butter. The chains we've named aren't just bad, they're symptoms of a broken system, a system that has normalized deception, that treats diners not as people to nourish, but as wallets to drain. You walk into these places expecting a meal. What you get is a chemistry experiment. Let's rewind back to Chili's for a second. Their fajitas used to sizzle, not just on the plate, but in reputation. Today, they sizzle because they've been microwaved to death and dumped into a hot metal tray just long enough to create the illusion of heat. The guacamole, often pre-mashed and sealed in plastic. The chips, from a bag. The queso, a concoction of processed dairy, emulsifiers, and artificial flavor enhancers. It's not Tex-Mex, it's Teslab Tex-Mess. And let's not forget the inflated prices. You're paying $15 for reheated nachos that cost pennies to make because the goal isn't quality, it's profit. Plain and simple. Then there's Red Lobster again. They'll sell you on the fantasy of ocean fresh seafood, but most of what they serve comes from massive unregulated seafood farms in polluted waters, often overseas. The shrimp, raised in crowded tanks with questionable antibiotics. The lobster, frequently frozen, thawed, and soaked in fake butter sauce. This isn't a tribute to coastal cuisine, it's a cover-up. You're eating bland, mass-produced seafood, while they charge premium prices and whisper words like sustainable to distract you. Let's talk about Applebee's again, because their story is especially disgusting. This is a chain that used to advertise itself as your neighborhood grill, a warm, welcoming spot where you could unwind. But what do they really serve now? A microwaved meat platter wrapped in nostalgia, that 3-cheese chicken penne you ordered, pre-made and vacuum sealed, that burger cooked on a flat top until it meets the lowest bar of doneness, and that margarita made with shelf-stable sour mix and bottom-shelf liquor sold at double the value. You're not in your neighborhood, you're in a machine, a system that counts on you being too tired, too busy, or too unaware to notice. And Denny's, the legend that fell so far, once the symbol of American diners, now it's a graveyard of frozen sausages, pre-whipped eggs, and pancakes poured from buckets. You don't walk into Denny's for quality anymore, you go because it's the only thing open, but even then, you're rolling the dice. Moldy prep areas, pest problems, outdated kitchens run by understaffed crews, doing their best in broken conditions. It's not their fault. The corporate model is built this way. Everything is about volume, speed, and cost cutting, and your health, not even part of the equation. Olive Garden is another masterclass in manipulation. The endless breadsticks, mass-produced, frozen, sprayed with garlic-scented oil, the pasta, boiled en masse, and dumped into steam trays. The tour of Italy, more like a tour of preservatives. This is a company that figured out how to take one of the world's richest culinary traditions, Italian cooking, and turn it into microwave mush, with a nice font on the menu. Health inspectors have flagged several locations for dirty kitchens and pest problems, yet people still go because the branding works, because we're taught that familiarity equals trust. IHOP isn't flipping fresh pancakes either. The batter is pre-mixed and sometimes shipped in. The eggs, from cartons. The bacon, frozen and reheated. The whole breakfast menu is a reheat and plate operation, and when you dig into their health inspection records, it gets worse. Pests, food left at unsafe temperatures, moldy refrigerators. This isn't brunch. It's corporate cafeteria food, served under a big blue roof. Outback Steakhouse, where the steak in steakhouse is questionable at best. Their meats are often pre-portioned and marinated with MSG and flavor-boosting chemicals. The grill marks, sometimes faked. The vegetables, canned or frozen. Even their Australian theme is a total fraud. Outback isn't Australian, it's American corporate branding, wearing a Crocodile Dundee costume. And if you think you're eating something special when you order their ribeye, think again. It's just another cut, cooked in the same reused oil as their onion tower, pumped with sodium, and priced as if it were a chef's special. And Buffalo Wild Wings, let's return one more time. The sauces alone are chemical cocktails. Most of their flavors include preservatives, artificial colors, and emulsifiers. There's no freshness, just frozen wings, fried and tossed in whatever lab-created glaze is cheapest that week. The oil they use, recycled until it breaks down into something carcinogenic. This is not food. It's engineered addiction, masked as game day grub, and people fall for it again and again. But here's the silver lining. There are places getting it right. True Food Kitchen is one of them. Built on the anti-inflammatory food philosophy, they serve meals that fuel, not fog. Their dishes are made with fresh, real ingredients. You won't find fake cheese, frozen meat, or reheated leftovers. You'll find turmeric, wild-caught fish, organic veggies, and smart nutrition. It's not about dietary trends. It's about transparency and care. They don't cut corners. They don't lie to your face. Cava is another standout. Their Mediterranean-style bowls are packed with actual nutrients, real grains, clean proteins, and fresh produce. Their ingredients lists don't read like science experiments. You won't find MSG, high-fructose corn syrup, or lab-created cheese sauces here. What you will find is clarity, quality, and consistency. It's food that doesn't pretend, it just delivers, and that's what we deserve. Real food, prepared with care, priced fairly, served without lies. This isn't just about flavor, it's about trust. It's about knowing what we're putting in our bodies, and who we're giving our money to. When we choose these big-name chains, we're rewarding deception, we're supporting companies that exploit nostalgia while gutting quality, we're telling telling the industry that shortcuts are okay, that we don't mind being misled, that flavor created in a lab is good enough, but it's not. It's time to break the cycle, time to reject fake freshness, and demand the truth. The more we speak up, the more we support honest establishments, the more we force these giants to face reality. So stop settling, start questioning, look at the kitchen, look at the ingredients, look at who's really behind the curtain. What all of this comes down to is a fundamental betrayal. These massive chains are not in the business of feeding people, they're in the business of manufacturing food-like products and selling you the illusion of a dining experience. They've mastered the art of making you feel like you're getting something real, something special, even as they serve you frozen processed garbage on a warmed plate. You walk into Olive Garden, and they hit you with, when you're here, your family. But what kind of family serves you microwave pasta, soaked in sodium sludge? What kind of family keeps moldy prep areas, and lets pest problems fester, just to keep churning out more endless breadsticks? It's manipulation, and it works, because for years, these chains have leaned on the power of nostalgia to cover up the reality that they haven't cared about food quality in a very long time. And let's be honest, this isn't about taste anymore, it's about margins. The average Chili's plate isn't built for flavor, it's built for cost efficiency, for freezing, shipping, reheating, and fast plating. That burger might look juicy in the ads, but by the time it hits your table, it's been microwaved into mediocrity. The fries, flash frozen, the sauces, mass-produced, the kitchen staff, rushed and undertrained, because high turnover is the norm in these models. The goal isn't culinary excellence, it's volume, and you're the target. We've accepted this as normal. That's the scary part. We've been conditioned to believe that a casual dining experience means settling for reheated meat, watery cocktails, and overpriced desserts made weeks ago in a warehouse kitchen. It's not just dishonest, it's dangerous. Hygiene violations in these chains are rampant. Mold in ice machines, food stored at unsafe temperatures, expired ingredients used until someone complains. When over half the industry has faced major food safety violations, you don't have a few bad apples, you have a rotting orchard. Take IHOP. You'd think a place built around breakfast, the simplest, most comforting meal, could get it right. But no, pancakes pumped from industrial batter containers, eggs from boxes, bacon that's already cooked, and just slapped on a grill to fake freshness. Some locations have been cited for cockroach infestations and unsanitary food prep areas. And when you're serving food that's already questionable to begin with, cleanliness has to be the minimum standard, but even that gets tossed out when profits are on the line. Same with Denny's. It used to stand for something, a roadside icon, but now it's a corporate husk. Most locations run skeleton crews, working under relentless pressure and outdated equipment. They serve reheated sausage patties and frozen hash browns and call it a grand slam, but there's nothing grand about food that was processed, packaged, and shipped across the country before it even saw a skillet. Then there's Outback Steakhouse. Let's drop the act. This isn't a steakhouse, it's a calorie bomb delivery system, dressed up in faux Australian branding. Their meat isn't aged or grilled with any care. It's often pre-portioned, slathered in MSG-heavy butter, and cooked on high-traffic grills that recycle grease for hours. The bloomin' onion alone is over 2,000 calories of deep-fried regret. It's culinary laziness, hidden under a fake accent and dim lighting. Red Lobster's even worse. Seafood should be sacred, but at Red Lobster, it's just another asset to commodify. The fish is often farmed in conditions you don't want to think about. Packed tanks, poor feed, questionable sanitation, shrimp pumped with chemicals to bulk them up, lobster tails that were frozen for months, and that butter they drown everything in. Imitation flavoring, mostly oil and coloring. Their idea of ocean fresh is a frozen delivery truck parked in back. And let's not forget the food industry's dirtiest little secret, menu engineering. These chains use science and psychology to manipulate you into overspending on items with the highest markup and lowest quality. They strategically
perfectly priced dishes to make you think you're getting a deal. They use descriptive language, fire-grilled, handcrafted, slow-roasted, to mask the fact that the food is often anything but. It's a well-oiled system of lies, and you're not supposed to notice. You're supposed to keep ordering, but that's the beauty of waking up to it, because once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. It's why places like True Food Kitchen and Kava they prove the industry doesn't have to be this way. They show that convenience doesn't require compromise. You can serve fast food without the filler. You can cook in volume and still care.
You can run a successful chain without pumping your meals full of preservatives, food dyes, and sodium bombs. The difference is that they choose to be honest. They don't insult your intelligence or your palate. True Food Kitchen works with nutritionists and chefs to build meals that support wellness. They use ingredients you recognize. They tell you what's in their menus change seasonally, not based on what's cheapest to mass produce, but based on what's actually in season. That's how real food works. You don't need MSG when you're using real turmeric, real lemon, and actual vegetables with flavor. You don't need fake butter when the ingredients are good enough on their own. Kava takes that same integrity and brings it into the fast casual space. Real grains, roasted vegetables, and proteins that aren't hidden behind sauces. Their portions are generous, their flavors bold, and they don't lie about how the food is made. There are no heat lamps, no gimmicks, just clean food that's priced fairly and served with transparency. That should be the standard, but in this industry, it's revolutionary, and that's why it matters what you support. Every time you walk into a Chili's, or Applebee's, or Red Lobster, you're sending a message. You're saying that it's okay for corporations to cut corners, to serve garbage, to lie to your face. But when you walk into a local spot that cooks fresh, or support chains like True Food or Kava that still give a damn, you're pushing back. You're demanding better. Don't underestimate that power. You're not just a customer, you're leverage. These corporations don't change because they want to. They change when they have to. And the only way that happens is when you vote with your fork, when you stop showing up, when you stop believing the ads, and start demanding receipts. So if you're tired of overpriced microwave meals, if you're sick of being lied to with fake freshness and prepackaged flavors, then speak with your plate. Speak with your wallet. Support honesty. Support quality. Reject this system that treats your health like collateral damage. And if this hit home for you, smash that like button. Share this with someone who deserves to know what they're really eating. Drop your worst chain restaurant experience in the comments. We're reading every single one. And don't forget to subscribe. We're just getting started. The food industry wants you blind. We're here to open eyes.